watching the biggest, the largest, the highest, the greatest, the tallest, and the mightiest African spiritual platform. I'm always Queen. Hadasha call me Empress. Makida call me Jezebel. I respond to that name with a great energy. Call me Mami Wata, call me Nabole, call me all the names you can think of. I welcome you, my people, with lots of love. Love, love, and hate. Hate is another episode today, dear girls. No, baby, we are mamo. Mo amochichiri ntomago. Ede bo mo ayase. Mo amochichiri tiro. Na mo de aboho. Na mo ade neni matwitwi na ekuro bewu ne namu ne ne eka. Today we are going to get to the bottom of it. Make I say, aban bi ba so obecheche pad mo kai. That was a great vision. And the kura say kosi saying, "Yenche bibia sin wie da." I welcome you, my people. Let's welcome our guests for today. Papa, we welcome you to Revelations.
Thank you very much.
Great. Please, today is your first time, so greet the followers, introduce yourself to us, and let's get into your topic.
Okay. Good evening to you all. My name is KWABENA, a youth advocate from PPAG. I'm here to delve deep into some economic challenges that young girls face in the society and how best we can curb some of these situations. So we are here, stick and stay with us for us to have a deep conversation about it. Thank you very much.
Welcome once again. We appreciate you on this set. So tell me, how do you see the youth and the sex that is going on around? How do you see it?
Personally, I think the level of this particular topic is more of, it has been normalized in the society now that, I mean, the dignity that sex is supposed to come with is being rough handled by the youth nowadays. So it's more of, I mean, someone could give out sex for a particular very important need, but now someone even offering you sex or giving you sex has been brought down to a level where it goes as low as being given a chicken change in exchange for that. So I believe it's all boils down to the education the youth got about sex and it's the dignity behind it.
Do we have to sell sex? You said they take petty things. Sex is the price and
that's how the youth of these days have made it look like. So as I started earlier, there is dignity behind offering sex. It's supposed to be that intimacy moment with a partner that you cherish the most. But the youth of these days are more of giving it out to someone who is ready to provide a need they want. And in exchange for that, sometimes it's a petty need. So that's how low they've brought the dignity that sex carries to. So meaning the dignity that sex used to carry is now down to somewhere Indomie or Rash. Yeah.
Indomie or Rash?
Yeah, that's what
Indomie?
we are finding. Yes.
Ne Rash?
As low as that.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Then what is causing this?
There are some economic challenges in the society that we are facing, maybe from then. But maybe I would say from then there were other means of navigating through these economic challenges. Some were ready to work. But looking at how things are going on, the youth are not ready to even engage in something that would really take some time to fetch them something. So the easier way is the best way for them. And as a result of that, since there are so many challenges, they are resorting to these easiest ways, which is leading to they offering themselves for the pettiest things they need. So yeah, basically I think the general challenge you are facing in a country like Ghana is what is causing some of these things, which is you may have a rich parent and still not necessarily get that very thing you need. There are some parents that do not, that sensitize that particular thing you need and go deeper into finding out how exactly that thing will help you or not. So as young people they mostly look out for how the readiness of that need. So maybe we be ene and as you see on during the long term of that particular thing, if that thing will really go a long way to help her in the future, him or her in the future. And he said, "Ne papa na wa dream the long term need we who say M1 no, and yes na akola na dream." So if my father is thinking of the long term and he's thinking it's not important to me, then I will go after what I actually need now, and that's leading even those who are coming from the rich homes to doing the pettiest things for the little thing they need to to address that ready need.
Oh yeah, are you reproductive health specialist?
No. I'm a youth advocate in the reproductive health space with Planned Parenthood Association of Ghana, PPAG.
They just passed a law about homosexualism and gayism. What's your take?
Honestly, I wouldn't want to touch on this.
Huh?
I wouldn't want to touch on this.
The youth are part of it.
Yes.
You are advocating for the youth.
Yes.
So why are you saying you won't?
So the little I can say, as I was saying, I wouldn't delve deep. Maybe I should have said that. I wouldn't delve deep into that. But the little I can say is, ours is to advocate for the reproductive rights of people. And in doing that, if it contradicts a particular norm that a particular group of people say it is contradicting, then we also some way have to adhere to it. But then we have to also analyze the long term, as I was mentioning earlier in the previous conversation, the long term of this particular thing. Maybe there should be a review of this whole bill that is being passed, because it's preventing some of us from doing our work. We are told if someone comes to you for a reproductive health service, you are liable to this bill, or you can be arrested for providing that service. It could be education. We are not out there to preach gay rights. We preach reproductive rights. And reproductive right goes beyond gay rights. We are talking about the number of children you can have. That's reproductive right. So if you are preventing us from doing our education because you believe it's also some way culminates with the conversation about gay rights, then I think there should be a real look at this particular bill to help us do our work. Sometimes we don't even know the service the person is coming for. But we are told if it is found out that the person visited your facility, you don't know the service the person came for. If you came and I told you he came to get para, it ends there. But maybe the person actually came for another service. So we are told that if this person should visit, then you are liable to this particular thing. So then there should be a real look so that we can have our services done to everybody, because we are not looking at this particular section group of people that we are talking about in the society, but the country at large, or everybody at large, providing reproductive health service for them. So if I don't know if Kwame is trying to come and visit my hospital to become AMA, and the person comes, maybe for all you know, my facility don't support that. But the very moment Kwame visits my facility with his intention of going to become AMA, then I'm liable to the bill, and so something has to be done to me. So I think the real look into this bill should be done. As a young person, I believe the real look into this bill will help us. We are not saying it shouldn't be passed or it shouldn't be anything like that shouldn't come out, but maybe some adjustments should be made in terms of providing services to people at large, so that we don't fall victim to some of these things in the bill. Yeah.
This is a great submission. Why? So why didn't you want to talk about it?
So even with this, I'm saying I didn't delve deep.
But
So
it's okay. You see, nobody is applauding anybody for whatever. But at the end of the day, they are part of us. So if we don't give them audience, how do we convert them?
Yeah, you are right.
You get me?
Right,
so your bit, it's a nice submission. So how many number of children is okay for someone to have? I'm asking this because you mentioned that in your submission. So
in terms of family planning, which the basic understanding is planning your family, knowing the number of children that best suits your financial standard. So I may not necessarily mention a number, because if I am here and I'm financially stable to take care of myself and my needs, and to cater for extra 10 people with the same provision, I believe I can give birth to 10. But we are looking beyond you just having the financial freedom. But there are people out there who are projecting financial freedom but are not there yet and still want to have the 10. So we are saying that even if you want to have the 10, maybe with the spacing, you may meet that standard in the way and you can cater for the 10.
Okay. What do you believe in? Are you a Christian, Muslim, Hindu?
I'm a Christian.
You are a Christian?
Yes, please.
Okay. So why are you preaching about family planning?
So, to the best of my knowledge and what I know in the Word, there is nothing clearly outlining anything against spacing your childbirth. There is nothing in the Bible.
Bible say yanko.
You say
yanko yen asasi suma.
Exactly.
Also wo limit na ma space na e ba no na ade beto onipa ne.
Man limited. Ejuma me no me limited.
Wo say yan man space ana me boa. And I said eba na eba ye. Nti eba na kasa ba nyankopon na mo se ode ba de ba ne boa.
Ye kwan ho do so a ye dey controlling birth.
Okay.
Sabe, facing the reality, people are having sex and pulling out because they don't want to give birth. Now, we find out that sometimes it reduces the pleasure someone can actually have. So then why don't we come up with something that will make you continue with the pleasure, but then preventing what you are trying to prevent, leading you to pulling out. That is what brought about this whole thing. Because maybe I am a young man, but not ready to give birth, but I'm ready to have that pleasure with my partner. What will help me not be the father I don't want to become yet? We looked at all these things to come up with the concept of family planning. Because I may not necessarily be against giving birth, but my readiness matters. Because I can't bring a child to this earth without being able to cater for this child.
That's why I'm asking that, are you contradicting with your faith? Because even pulling it up, Onan, the in-law of Judah, he did that thing and he died. It's in the Bible. You know about it, right?
Yes. Yes.
And you, dear, will say, so condom. So you preach condom to them.
Yes.
They say, so why are you a Christian? Are you a bad Christian?
I'm not a bad Christian. So the understanding of the using of contraceptives, I think, has been misconstrued for some time now, and I think the education is needed on such platforms to be able to get people to understand that wearing a condom is no way preventing, like, going against the Bible. We all have ways we want to protect ourselves. If you get into Canada, it is something natural going on, which is the winter and all that. But you find yourself gloves to wear because you want to prevent maybe freezing fingers and all that. Gloves wasn't created naturally. Human understanding and knowledge came up, and all these things, innovations came, and all these things came. So controlling birth also, someone thought about it, said, oh, people are pulling out because they don't want to impregnate someone. Doesn't mean all sexual intercourse is supposed to lead to birth. It was never said. It is never anywhere in the Bible that all sexual intercourse is supposed to lead to birth. And so if I come up with a concept that I say, oh, since all sexual intercourse is not supposed to lead to birth, then someone has brought an innovative way to what? Control this particular thing without deteriorating that sexual experience. I'm enjoying myself, now I have to pull out to spoil the experience. So then why don't I wear something that's the reason I'm actually pulling out? I can continue without necessarily getting the person pregnant. Aside that, we do things, the contraceptives preventing birth, also sometimes, some of them have dual roles, like the condom. The condom is preventing birth and also protecting one from sexually transmitted infections. So if the condom I'm wearing is supposed to protect me from sexually transmitted infection, ends up protecting me or preventing pregnancy, am I wrong? I am not. Because my intention may be to prevent STIs because I'm having multiple partners, which is not advisable. But I'm doing it anyway. We are all not doing the right thing some way, somehow. So I will have the intention of having sex by preventing STIs. I wear a condom, which ends up preventing pregnancy as well. I'm not wrong about that. We are supposed to we are supposed to protect our health some way, somehow. So in preventing something that will cause something to my health, and I prevent something I'm also not ready for.
Who brought about family planning? Is there any history about who brought it?
If we say we are going to go into the history of family planning, we may go on and on.
Oh no, give us the vital side.
So, I may not necessarily mention specific names and all that, but there came a time where, an example like for Ghana, for instance, an example like University of Ghana, we were told Akufo-Addo's father and they were all enjoying the luxury of being in one room at the old horse, like a Equafo horse and the rest. But because of the increased birth and the compoundment of this birth, it reduced to how you are seeing a room that was meant for one person at the time into 4 people, and even perpetrators adding up to squeezing themselves into that same small room. Now the concept came that, why don't we do something that will still give that ample time for people to now maybe, for instance, complete school before the next person comes. You get it? So that it continues in that order, so that we can have that time for people to enjoy the resources before the next generation comes. Which is not wrong, which is not preventing the next generation from being born. The next generation is still coming. Exactly. You are not challenging God. We are not. We are just trying to improvise. Some way, somehow, if we don't do that, there will be some sort of compressions in so many things we do.
So these things, they all came from the West, right? Or they are created, they came from the West.
Most of the things we do came from the West. We learned so many things we are doing now from them.
I'm asking you this because naturally, you know, there are times a woman can meet a man that will not get pregnant.
Yes.
The nature itself has given us, spaces to do these things. Like the nature or the universe itself has its natural family planning that causes us no harm.
Yeah.
So how best has this contraceptives and how good has it done to us? Because a person has to be careful. If I don't want this, I have to be careful. But you give condom to the person and you will be doing this thing all over, because you won't get pregnant, you won't get any baby. Yeah. But what about our auras? The things, when you have intercourse with someone, it's not only about the dick. Sleeping on the person and kissing the person, a lot of exchange goes on. Your auras, and people use people to cancel the academies. Okay? Yeah. So how good has this done to us? So, me being careful for not doing it, because me yare and I may pregnant. And I can scatter and broskoto everywhere without problem. So how good has this done to our youth?
So first, I would like to clarify this condom increasing sex, increasing people's intake for or doing sex.
Oh, not that. Like, it's not about increasing it, but the fear that will keep me away, I have antidote for it. You get me?
Yeah, I get it.
It's not about increasing it, but there's an antidote, so let me do it instead of abstaining. Yeah. That's what I'm asking.
Now, coming from the angle of the natural, traditional means of preventing pregnancy and the spacing and all that, we understand that even with the menstrual cycle, changes do happen due to some instances. Maybe I believe we all understand that change of environment sometimes can change your cycle and all that. This analysis was done that, okay, maybe our auntie is supposed to have her menses during this period. She visits, or she's not expecting it anytime soon, so maybe she's visiting a particular community to do something, right? She's not expecting her menses, so she must have planned that, okay, a baby I make way there. Me kwa pushia asimesi. Ejumani via yede nyama be share so ana baby. Upon getting there, because of change of environment, sometimes you encounter your mens. Oh hanaba. Because of some of these instances, we know that the cycle cannot be 100% predicted. As women, I know they know that aspect of the cycle. And in as much as it cannot be predicted, there should be a preventive measure that can battle or some way, somehow align with that change of cycle. That you are so sure
that you are safe in what you are doing.
Exactly. Because
nature itself, like I said, has family planning. The reason why it's not every sex that you will do, even in your danger time, that will become pregnancy. Nature itself has the time is bringing every solo.
That's very true. So family planning on its own has never been imposed on anyone. It's per choices.
Yeah.
And if you look at the structure of family planning, we have the coitus interruptus, which is the pull-out method and all that. Or as we
like pull-out, you know?
Oh, no. It's part of the conversation.
Don't mind me.
So the structure acknowledges the traditional, we call it the bead method, where people use the bead to predict that my free period and all that. But
the 3 days and rah,
exactly, as I mentioned earlier, the free period is kind of shaky nowadays. Exactly. So this guy knows that Amma has done it today. So in the next maybe 25 or 20 days, or maybe the next week, right after her menses, I'm supposed to go there. Obekono, Amma is still flowing. And Obekono, enter now ovulation has started. Now essential. Amma comes to tell. That's how we have the whole misunderstanding of I didn't get you pregnant. That is when the boy always realizes that the girl is sleeping around, even when the girl is not. It's because of this understanding. And as natural as it is, we may not necessarily give education to that level where you tell the guy that, so you can't predict, so don't do this or don't accuse the girl or something. So the best way we could have prevented this misunderstandings and things, if you, the guy, you use your condom, and you are so sure you used it, and there are so many things you need to know about the condom as well. Not ensuring that there are no punch holes in the condom. That's a misconception. And there are misconceptions. Oh, and there are things especially. Yes, ocean condom, as you were saying. Oh yeah, before one person then bebaso. Ocean condom,
hey.
Oh yeah, we hear so many misconceptions about it. But people are wearing condoms and they're doing perfectly fine. When we delve deep into the family planning, we'll talk about other things relating to the misconceptions about people, these things. But then again, as I was saying, the whole change of cycle also brought about the use of contraceptives or family planning methods. So that when you know you've gone for your family planning method of maybe 3 months, 5 years, 10 years and all, you are sure that, oh, I did like I'm so sure of myself that there is no pregnancy involved. Do you get it? And there are some people who also go with their spouses to go and get this thing done. So if you come to your spouse and you tell your spouse that you are pregnant, there's that misunderstanding that I went with you for you to get 3 months. Maybe the spouse forgetting that 3 months, if you miss out, there's a particular order you're supposed to take your daily pills, or maybe the 3 months and all that. If you go for your injection and you miss out the dates and all that, it can cause all of these problems. But some people, after doing the family plan, the whole understanding is that my year family planning, and so they go out there and do all sorts of things. So the condom is some people do that level of dual protection where 3 months, but she also ensures that the guy uses a condom. It's because of some of these challenges I'm talking about. So people are ready for that financial burden, but nobody defines sex as be ready for financial burden before you have sex.
Because the baby is ready to come. Why are you people stopping God from working?
But sex wasn't only made for childbearing.
And that is why when you do it, there are people who have been in a room for 7 years. They are doing it left, right, center, front, back, west, east. No baby has come. It means there is no time for any baby to come yet. So if somebody also do it and 1 year, Papa me say me maybe pentabo. Me 1 year na tetia. So fast like back.
It's by choice. It's by choice. So
me abotre.
Oh,
when it comes to our mini abotre. Yes, I'm what to say this.
Hey, and I'm wedding.
You are watching the biggest and the largest. Okay, so the okay, so the topic is economic challenges and its impact on the reproductive health and services on young girls. Young girls, why the girls?
So mostly the girls are mostly the victims when it comes to the economic burden. In the sense that when it comes to reproductive health, the people who mostly fall vulnerable to it is the girls. When it comes to the sexual and gender-based violence, the violence aspect, some guys are going through it, but we have the larger number being the girls. So that's why it's important for us to enlighten people about that economic burden, so that if a guy happens to meet a girl and the girl is in need for something, you shouldn't necessarily trade sex for that reproductive health need that she wants from you. Basically, that's what we are trying to say.
Okay, I understand that. Yeah. A boy would impregnate a girl and continue his school, and the girl will...
Exactly.
They will impregnate them, give birth, and the boy is... and you, the girl, you become...
Yes.
So I understand it. So this is your topic. Please take us through.
Okay. So some time back in 2020, we came across people living indoors as a result of restrictions and all that. And through that, some girls were solely dependent on some particular people, which is guardians or whoever they were living with, for some of these reproductive health needs. And as a result of that, some of them had to go through phase of violence, most especially sexual violence, to get these needs provided. So we thought through this and realized that no, how is this like happening? If there was that financial freedom or economic freedom in the country we find ourselves in, where even parts were supposed to be free, because our organization, for instance, go out giving condoms for free. So if condoms can be free, why not parts?
And the moon changing it. Moon changing it.
We work based on fund, as you know, funding and all that. So
no,
yeah.
No, one found the pad. Pad need the ochu mutan beba. What do you say?
Yes.
We need beba. You will need it.
Exactly.
The condom, because of your Christianity and Islam, people will abstain and be like, oh. So instead of condom, please do pad.
People are not abstaining at all.
Really?
Oh, not
with
at
all
all.
The prayer and fasting and all night.
Not at all.
Hadn't ya?
We always hear the girls are always getting pregnant. Who are impregnating the girls?
Some new.
Exactly.
Oh.
There used to be when we visited Choco, they were asking us, so why are we always bringing condoms here? Why are we always bringing? Would we bring them money? It was like, have you ever asked your daughter who always keeps impregnating her? If we give that person condom, your daughter will stop coming home to compound that economic pressure in the family, because it's that serious that you go to Choco and there's that 12-year-old, and the next year, which is 13, she's having a second child.
What?
Oh, yes. I have to be mentioning Choco because that is what I hope no one comes.
Oh, they won't do anything.
Exactly.
We are trying to solve the issues.
Yeah.
So this one that you are mentioning, maybe an NGO be an OB so saying, we should also go and help.
That's
everything we are doing here is to make sure we impact positivity into our people. Because we believe we can be great. In fact, greater than any other way. So nobody will come after you.
That's fine. So yeah, as with Choco happens to be a place I've really worked in, and maybe Teshi. You come across these young people. There was a time we were having we came up with a program called Girl Boss, championing girls to get understanding in these things and all that, and how to go out to assess their reproductive needs and all that, access their reproductive needs and all that. And while we came across some young people, 14 years, and she came with a second child. And that was very disturbing. I mean, a 14-year-old.
Without the man.
Exactly. And it's always that way. You hear people getting excited about having outdoorings in these communities. You go to Choco and it's supposed to be a competition that I'm having my second outdooring, when are you having yours? And if you are 16 and 17, and as young as 17, and the tag of you kidney is being leveled on you, that you are barren at 17.
17 years?
Oh, yes. We hear all these things. And sometimes, if you are privileged to go to Choco, some of them are ready to talk to you about some of these things. Their friends are laughing at them. Oh, in Bile cry, it's a kindergarten. Me banu cry, we drew kindergarten. Now the on was school.
Hey, in Ghana.
So they are some way somehow pushing. It has become a cycle. As a group of people are trying to prevent that economic hardship, they are bringing themselves back to it. That's how it's important to educate the people, the group of people, that section of people who are bringing us back to that.
But truthfully, because it's your work, let me ask you this.
Okay.
Before, there are places you will go.
Yes.
the mother has 6 kids without a husband, maybe all the 6 kids different fathers.
Yes.
And the kids are also making babies in addition.
Oh yes.
Without fathers, like I to say a baby, transgenerational something that is happening.
They mostly call it grandma at 35.
Grandma at 35.
Yes. The mother of that girl who is giving birth to 1 already is just 35. So she's a grandma already. They mostly call it grandma at 35. And it's happening. In Choco, you see a lot. I think 35 maybe I've gone too much because she even gave birth at 13. So before the daughter will get to that same 13.
So when they are standing there, they are like siblings.
Exactly.
No mother, no child.
And that's how you see both of them going for Shatawale shows together and you think they're actually, on that vibe. But it's because of that same cycle repeating itself.
This is serious. So how can we push this pan and cover? What have you been doing about this? Like, how are you pushing this agenda?
Okay, so once again, with support from United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, we got the opportunity to enroll projects on livelihood skills, where some of these teen mothers and pregnant teenagers came on board for us to train them on some of these skills. And even when you are not pregnant, we also take some of the skills into the community for you to get something doing, because most of the times their excuse for going to the people impregnating them is because of economic hardship. So we get them, train them, and we train them on so many things: beads making, sobolo, like things that are moving fast, liquid soap and all that. So
that you can at least feed.
Do something for yourself. And we have success stories of some of them somewhere in Cape Coast doing very well for themselves, selling their own liquid soaps to make money for themselves. So if you come into your community and we find you, you get this support. And this is our little support in breaking that cycle of economic hardship.
You train them.
Oh yeah, we go through.
You train them and it ends there, or you give them a little mobilization to start.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, don't mention the actual figure, but what's the highest and what's the smallest? Don't mention the actual figure. So what we are doing here, people are watching. Somebody might come and hold parts of these things, because this is what we call God's work.
Yes.
And I'm a no.
So
what is the biggest someone can do? Maybe someone cannot do for 100 people, but if you mention and it is reasonable, we can get 10 people who want to help with 10 people. We are going.
So like the number of people we've trained?
No, the number of people you train is fine, but the little funds. Mobilization you give them to.
So depending on what skill we are teaching them, so maybe, and how much money goes into it, we try our best to provide something that you can start off with to make maybe. So for instance, the liquid soap, we know the budget if we are coming to train them. So maybe sometimes you get the opportunity of getting as high as 500, 800 and all that.
$800 and a Ghana cedi.
No, Ghana cedi.
Okay, you
because
continue.
of the cost of the things that you use to do these things. And you know, definitely after doing it, maybe you are likely to spend less than that amount that was given to you to do it. You sell it off at a reasonable amount to also make something, and it continues like that. You'll be able to get your profit to feed and also continue with that little business you are doing. And some of them also, with the beads making and all that, some are able to, we have people doing fascinators and all that. And as we go for our programs to market them, we also take some of the things they do as exhibition. For people to see that, oh, these are our beneficiaries doing these things. So anytime you need some of them to come and do some of these things, they are available to also do it. Some get into, they are very much ready to learn. And so we'll be glad if also people will also identify us or find us and bring their support in there, because we are doing the little we can, but with the support of other.
If you do 5, I do 5, this one do 5, we are able to.
We'll
makes sense. There. You are watching the biggest and the largest. Dr. Kelly, I think you need to talk to this man. Okay, so right now, give us what worries you about this youth, especially the girls. 5 things that you think is a bigger problem, and 5 things that you think we can help in pushing into those angles.
So, okay, 5 things that I believe is a bigger problem is the education. 1, the most important thing that will ride on the rest is the education going down well. Some are more of resisting, refusing the education because they feel wakusuya brofubi and now they are showing na ye tuya sebe kachire no keke until they see the productivity of that particular thing or a beneficiary of that particular thing you are telling them about. They are not ready to also subscribe to whatever you are ready to. So the education, giving the education to young girls to feel empowered and ready to come out there to also get themselves involved in this whole process, to break that barrier of economic hardship. Then 2, reporting perpetrators of some of these things we are talking about. Someone who takes advantage of your economic hardship to provide that need. You can't go out there as per the education. That's how I say the education cuts across. I can't go there to tell someone about reporting that uncle who is providing for her because I'm not ready to provide it for her. So if you go there and you tell her that uncle is wrecking your future, so report him. She's going to accept that today, but the next morning is KWABENA going to be there to give her that 20 cedis for that breakfast. If he's not going to be there and that same uncle is going to do that, then
now if the uncle is helping him or her, how is he wrecking the person's future?
You are giving me money, but you are not giving me money.
You are not giving me future.
Exactly. You are destroying my future.
You want me to sit and eat and sleep.
Exactly.
Continue.
People are really going through that. Like, it's very serious. And the third thing is also enrolling on some of these livelihood skills. Is if they get the education, they report the perpetrators, they have their freedom to enroll themselves on so many skills, skill development, so that they can also truly step out of that particular economic hardship they find themselves, making them dependent on people. Then I would say the fourth thing could be they also being trainer of trainer of trainers, where I have been empowered. I've gone through the education. I have reported someone who is a barrier in my life. I have a skill set. Now I am a trainer of trainers, where Monsieur Bibinti, no community to that same community I'm coming from, to give it out to people over there. I think basically some of these things are very important into shaping the whole economic hardship and bringing them out of it to also provide for themselves. Then, the next thing is 4. So I've said 4. I'm trying to say
3.
I've said. So basically, some of these things are with this 3 I've said. Some of these things are supporting some way or the other to get rid of these economic hardships in the society.
So what structures do you have apart from education?
Yeah.
What structures?
Structures in terms of?
In terms of uprooting this kind of behaviors?
It all boils down to education and accessibility to the things they need.
So who are the sponsors of, who are those sponsors? Can you mention them? You don't need to. Because it's a good thing. You don't have to.
Yes.
Or it's a church?
It's not.
How many churches are sponsoring this agenda?
It depends. It depends. So some come as per the period. So sometimes some churches can come and partner to go and distribute sanitary pads to these girls in a particular community because they know you are spearheading it or you are already into that business. They bring their little support, but it doesn't happen as regular as maybe we may expect it to be happening, because if I get the pad for that girl today,
1 month, more than 1 month, 1 year, dear.
1 month.
Until 1 month, it'll be ordered into my good in the toilet room. We'll
go back to it.
Now the pad are common. Now I end the more. Now on your beer, no cause sex, not the top pad. Why not?
Exactly. So sometimes the continuity becomes the problem. That's
if we should have a great structure pad ni go to moko now they come on ton dey.
A bit on but we look at the larger number. Some are making good use. Exactly. The larger number use it. Like you see the excitement. We used to think being a guy the first time I went on this ride with distribution of sanitary pads, I used to think, now come over sanitary pad, sanitary pad. The whole idea of sanitary pad until I actually got on board to do some of these things, and I realized the excitement in receiving sanitary pads. I was like, oh wow, that's indeed a positive change we are looking out for. Seeing them excited, wanting, and even fighting for it was something I never expected. Yeah, so I realized, in as much as they want the money, this is something also in the right direction that is some way helping them.
You are watching the biggest too. Ghana, the head you. Who is school crana wajin papa no mobilization alone no kwaje ya maame a we no grandmother one ancestors in date of death certificate o de beba obronia ye structures 18 years na kola na etua na wa starting na brabo chesa den na ye de ye ntumi nya hwe ye be sinki o because nkola ya omo no mo ba be so ye mu nti se wa wo bebre se na grandmother 30 na so no so ni kunu na ye ohene a asase no nton abutia your problem no if fat pass fattest you are watching the biggest. Okay, so if there are any messages you want to send to people to come and help, okay, this is a bigger platform. Abusia nyamesumuni o. Nyamesumuno.
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity. So we are Planned Parenthood Association of Ghana. We are located at Latebio Koshi, close to Radio Gold. And our social media handles, we have ppag_gh on Facebook, and the same thing on Twitter, same thing on Instagram. So you can reach us on all these platforms, and we are ready to work with anyone who is ready to make impact in the society. So reach out to us, and we have a contact center that I would like to really say something brief about. So in 2020, as we underwent some of these researches on this economic hardship, we came about with something called Yenkasa, a contact center that is readily available. That's one of the ways we are supporting young girls from having access to some of these reproductive health services. It's a contact center that is toll-free, that you can call or text us or WhatsApp us on anything reproductive health. So the number is 0800 20 20 10. Yenkasa is toll-free. 0800 20 20 10. Yenkasa. If you call us, we have contact center agents from all across the country. They are speaking Dagati, English, Gantry. They are ready to listen to you and connect you to all the facilities available for your reproductive health services to be readily available to you.
We want to make sure say the bar ebe come ho. Ayi minimum bi oyo orphanage. Tam no sa tam na ye ti abuchi no ba na obediji nyama no so no de ko bie store wo Kumasi. Reason so yati bebre udi ni ama no kwa lawu. I hope somebody any dey genuine.
Very, very genuine. Our structure is not a one-person organization. We are under an international body called IPPF. International Planned
International. Oh, mercy.
International Planned Parenthood Association.
When I become a president,
so we are unable to keep things by ourselves. Yeah.
President Maame G. Hey, akajuma medibodo. Akayawaska, obi abe gaining the consciousness first seriously.
Okay, boy.
Krama yediane. I'm not saying don't feed your dogs. Seriously, sometimes say yes ye be boa ye ho a ye be boa ye ho. Aban ne de to wadwin. Ono oye adwuma ma obi. Nti ono kro ni power bia asa de amuhunu maka. But ye individuals na nyamnya boa ye no, we can adopt a whole community and change their lives. So who call ye bebo within this is nyamesom. Anyway, your last words from the presidency to minister bi o hwe ye ne de ka kan ho be support mo. Call them o.
So we sent an appeal for us to scrape off the taxes on sanitary pads. That's one of the things PPAG contributed to. And nothing has been said about it so far. They mentioned doing something about it. We want that bill to be finally signed by the president for it to roll out for because we don't understand how sanitary pads should be identified or labeled as a luxury product.
So, sanitary pad?
Oh yeah. That's what they are saying. And so that's contributing to the sudden increase in prices of sanitary pads. Moving from, I think, if I knew, 4 CD or so to 10 CD, 12 CD now, which is making it difficult for some of them. On top, actually, where they have got a sanitary pad. So we are pleading with the government to also respond to some of these things. And also make the facilities, the government facilities, youth-friendly enough for the young girls to be able to visit.
Visit where?
Visit and have their reproductive health needs attended to. We need these things. If the facility is readily available, we will curb some of these situations we are hearing in the society. So this is my little appeal to the presidency, the parliament, and everybody in Ghana, that let's make our facilities youth-friendly enough, or let it be a safe haven for young people or young girls to come there to have their reproductive health needs attended to.
Sikano for sponsorship no for asore no omo na sikano wo omo ho omo tax no omo ntia no omo fa beto pad some church offering tithe ntia tithe
some of them are doing
some of them are paying tithe.
No, not the tithe. Some of them are supporting the
and so add more into, are you enough? Are you okay?
We are not okay. So yeah, we are also pleading on the churches, as they've supported in education, they should also support in the reproductive health needs of young people, so that these things, this economic hardship leading them into falling into the hands of the wrong people, will also reduce or be even taken out of the society. So the churches, the Presbyterian churches, the Pentecostals, the Orthodox churches, as we are speaking, we are pleading with you to also come out to support this work. We don't always have to wait for May 28th, which is the menstrual hygiene day, to do these things. A girl is menstruating every month. So let's not wait for May 28th. Let's come out there to support these girls to have access to some of these things, and we'll have a peaceful environment to live in.
And kwala wo Ghana ha omu nya pad mbo. Ghana ha mu discuss this prayer cathedral asofo ni na mu discuss ne ko ye pad nipa na be kwa kwatena sori dem woni onbo pad a uzi asori dem na ye den ha ya ka wo se ya abaifo woni me ho na abaifo sisi ye no pad cathedral makra why no wan be chemi anko me mbo nipa wo mro te ase o ne ebinu mu bre o me mbo o mo wate nyame na eye nipa wo hwe nipa a wa hwe nyame. Let's put this in our head. Na prayer no so amobo no moje tithe na tithe no tax bi ani so. Nti mo amuntwa tax ma mo ho. Na mo fa bi nkoto mo frefre papa yi na every month on sisa pad no mema van what sisa be mema bas kra na what sisa ma na wa kochecheche. Why wo de wo ni gidie wo bi em so di sika na ma na obedi a wo de to ade no what ya se to na wo de from no mo be fa na zo mo ko hye dwa anya mbetue o mo ka makra